In mid-2020, the Black Lives Matter protests began. Circulating around the globe, this series of protests incited America's future. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and Donald Trump were in the election campaign, with Joe Biden going on to be the Democratic Party leader taking on Trump in the late 2020 election. With the news of COVID-19 still lurking in the background, America was really messed up. In 2020, America's half-downfall began with George Floyd being choked to death by a white police officer. This began the series of worldwide Black Lives Matter protests. In America, the rallies continued for a series of months, almost lasting for a third of the year. Donald Trump reacted to this by claiming it as an act of violence. The protests, however, continued for a long amount of time. The month is now November, and the electoral votes start to come in. Lasting nearly a month, the Electoral College votes start to lean towards Biden. After Joe Biden reached the 270 checkpoint, Trump called the voting system an act of misjustice and claimed the whole thing was a fraud. In places where Donald Trump was losing the vote, his supporters across the state calling to stop the count, while in places where Trump was winning, protesters were eager to keep the vote going. Trump had already looked a bit suspicious. In mid-December, Donald Trump went to court to call the vote off. After 10 attempts and failures, Trump gave up, and yet he did not concede. Soon after, in January, Trump supporters were storming the Capitol building while the government members finalized the votes. With this horrific act incited by Trump and Rudy Giuliani, Trump was impeached for the second time in history. After multiple losses, Trump finally laid back to play some golf. When the day came, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were sworn in. A historic moment for America's history. Next up, we will find out how Biden is doing in the White House, as well as Kamala Harris. Stick around after the break. Step aside, Trump. It's time for a new president. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were sworn in on the 20th of January 2021, with Harris making history as the first woman, Black, Asian American, and African American vice president, and Biden following a tragic year. What will the next president term mean to America? As Biden's speech ended, a new era was ready to take place. After months of preparation, Joseph R. Biden and Kamala Harris enter the White House, leading a new era. With Biden stepping into the shoes of president, he holds great power. Biden has already reversed many mistakes Donald Trump made. With America rejoining the Paris Agreement, a significant pact made by the countries, stopping the construction of the American border wall, with Biden acting to end private prisons, fair house policies, and repealing the transgender military ban, he seems to be making a great first month. The USA is one of the most powerful countries in the world, one with lots of nuclear arsenals, but also one with lots of responsibilities. What will happen to America in the future times coming? Will Joe Biden truly see out his full term and make it a successful one? Or will he and Kamala Harris have to exit the White House due to the forceful management of Donald Trump and his followers? In the next episode, we see how Google has shaped the world. Though this isn't quite a 2021 episode, it definitely goes to show the best companies in the world and how they are making their mark. But that's all from me now. Ciao.